Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We are trying out two new products by two very big YouTube stars. From Patrick Starr himself, the One Size Beauty Powdered Foundation. I cannot wait to try this out. We are going to do an 8-hour wear test and see how this wears throughout the day. Plus, I'm going to walk you through my whole powdered foundation routine. We are also going to try out the new Goss Bronzer and Contour Duo. I cannot wait to dive into this, you guys. It's just going to be a powdered kind of day. But before we get started, if you're new to my channel, please remember to hit that subscribe button and click that little bell right there so you can get notified. I'm here every Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, and I just would love for you to join this lovely glam fam. Follow me at Christy Allure on Instagram and on my blog, ChristyAllure.com. Be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up. Go ahead, click that like button, you guys. It really does help me out. And without further ado, let's get started. You guys, to speed up the process, I already started my concealer. I already moisturized and primed my skin with the One Size Beauty primer that I'm trying out. It's just a sample size. I let the concealer dry, hopefully not too long. Now I'm gonna go in, and I did put the Dior on because I feel like when you use powdered foundations, you wanna stick to more not so matte concealers, and I think this is a perfect one where I still get the coverage. I think I let that dry a little too much. I'm just making sure that everything is nice and blended out, and I'm just kind of carrying whatever's left over on my sponge onto the rest of my face to make sure everything's blended. One product that I really do like using underneath when I don't do too much concealer and to really like even out my skin before I go in with like foundation powders is this, it's called Unfoundation Matte Tint. It's almost like a tinted moisturizer, but it has more of a matted feel. This is too light, so I'm gonna have to up the, this is better when I was in the winter time frame, but it's too light, but it's very, very, very lightweight, and it just kind of makes the skin very even, and it just, I mean, it's so moisturizing, but still yet gives you that matte finish, which I really, really like. But again, it's way too light right now, so I'm gonna have to get a different color. But that is one thing I like to do to even out, because really what you want to do is kind of even out your skin tone if you have any discolorization or imperfections, and you can do that with a concealer as well. But this is extremely lightweight and I really like it. So all of that's set. So whenever you use powdered foundations like this Patrick Starr one or the Fenty one that I really like, you want to make sure that you're concealing and doing all your liquids first. And if you're using like a liquid blush that doesn't go over powder well, which all of mine do, so I don't worry about that, then you can put that on before you put the powder on. If you're doing a cream contour that doesn't go over powder, you want to make sure to do that first as well. Typically when I wear foundation powders, I don't really use too many cream products. Just the blush, we're going to use that Shiseido one that I've been raving about. I just want to show you guys how beautiful it is. But today we're just going to do a powdered contour over this powder, so I'm not worried about that. I am going to set my under eyes. I've already kind of played with this powder, and although it seems light in the packaging, it is actually very golden on my skin, and that will not play well under my under eye area. So we are going to set the under eye area with my Makeup Forever one, just to keep everything in the same I don't want to do like a lightweight setting powder under my eye and then it doesn't blend as well, in my opinion, with a powdered foundation. So I'm going to set my under eye with a powdered foundation that's lighter. You can do this if you go lighter as well, but I don't have one lighter. So I'm just going to use that, and we will use the, I've already used this puff on that, but we're going to use like the corner of, actually let's do my Tati one just because I don't want to mix the two. So I'm going to take this Y215 right here. It's kind of a brightening one, and then I think this is Y235. I'll put the two that I use, and I kind of mix those two, and I'm just going to go underneath the eye area, and you can use your sponge as well. I like doing it both ways. And then just kind of set that under eye area. Now let's get into the foundation powder, since that's kind of the star of the show today. So this One Size Beauty foundation powder runs $33. I'll show the details right there. I did go with Light 3, a neutral golden undertone, and I felt like that one matched me the best when I was in store. I picked this up at my local Sephora. Very good shade range. We're looking at 32 very inclusive shades. The Makeup Forever has 30 shades, so actually this has a little bit more shades than the matte velvet ones. I thought it had more than that, and that one's $38, but you get 11 grams of product, so you're paying a little bit less actually in the Makeup Forever one at $3.45 per gram versus the One Size Beauty one at $33, but you only get 8 grams of product and you're paying over $4 a gram. Then you have the Fenty Pro Filter Soft Matte at $36, but you get 50 shades with that one. And that one's actually a little bit more than the Makeup Forever one at $3.96 approximately per gram. With the Fenty Pro Filter, you get about 9.1 grams of product in that one, but you do get quite a bit of shades. Then you've got MAC Fix Plus, you guys, which is the best deal of them all. At $33, you get 15 grams of product, and you're only paying $2.20 per gram. And you have 53 shades to choose from with the MAC Studio Fix, which has been around a long time, you guys. MAC Studio Fix is like the OG of them all. They all have about a 10 to 12 hour wear time. I think the one that lasts the longest, in my opinion, is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet. I think it's the most pore reducing. I do feel like it lasts the longest. It's almost like an upgrade to MAC Fix Plus. But I do feel like this One Size Beauty powder foundation does stand out in its highlighted ingredients because it is different from the others. So let's take a look at those highlighted ingredients. You have texturizers and microspheres that visibly blur pores, fine lines, wrinkles, and texture with a soft focus effect. Rice Silk Powder, which helps create a soft focus appearance, and triple milled micronized purist pigments that create undetectable, seamless, true color coverage that lasts up to 12 hours. I did purchase his One Size Beauty puff when I bought his loose powder, so that's what we're gonna go in and use today. And you can go in there with a flat kabuki brush. You can go in there with a fluffy brush. I really like this one from Fenty Beauty. This is like a powdered foundation brush that gives more of a soft focus effect. So we're gonna take that puff and we're just going to throw that onto the sponge, and I'm just going to, oh, see how golden that is, you guys, compared to, yeah, that's really golden. Oh my goodness, I'm scared. So I think I need to go down on the shade. Yeah, that's way too golden, and I don't foresee myself getting any darker than this. So I am gonna take this down my neck just so everything matches appropriately. So whenever you use a puff or even a sponge to apply a powdered foundation, you are gonna get more coverage. This pulls off like, not orange, but it has like, it's not as yellow as I had hoped it was gonna be. It looked more yellow in the pan, but it pulls more like orangey on the skin. But we'll see, we'll just see how it wears. I actually ended up going the whole time with the puff. I'm just gonna show you on this like flat kabuki brush just to kind of show you. It actually This is one of my favorite ways to apply a foundation, a powdered foundation, is with just a flat kabuki style brush. And make sure you always get into that hairline. You don't want any demarcation lines. So I am gonna take that brush up there and just make sure. It's like using liquid foundation. You want to treat it the same exact way. So you just want to make sure you get your ears and everything else going down, again, the neck. Do I feel like it's blurred everything out? No. Do I feel like it's the most spectacular foundation powder I've ever put on my face? No, but is it really pretty? Yeah, it's nice. It's a good one. It's not negatively making anything look bad, but it's also not wowing me either. I don't know if that makes any sense. I am gonna take a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury just because I do feel like this is the most blurring and I have a lot of pores right there. So I am just gonna just to blend the lightness I have here with that. I need to do that. So it kind of blends and transitions the two together. This pulls so much, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it to you guys. I'll show you guys the swatches right there on my phone and might give you a better indication of what it looks like. I feel like you can't really tell in my lights, but I feel like the Fenty Beauty one has a little bit more yellow in it from my taste, and it kind of has that neutral yellow, I should say. And it just is a really good shade on me. I also love my MAC NC25. It's one of my favorites as well, and NC30. This one is just very golden, but we'll just have to see outside what it looks like. I mean, here in pan, it looks perfect. And remember, powders always oxidize and get a little bit darker on the skin. Just keep that in mind when you use powders. They may look like light at first, but once they oxidize and mix with your natural oils, that's when powders, and I take this from an expert of powdered foundations because that's what I grew up on and that's what I've always worn up until about probably 4 years ago. I switched over to liquid foundation, but I always wore powdered foundations. And I can tell you right now, when they mix with your natural oils throughout the day, they definitely oxidize. And it's not because the powder oxidizes, it's just naturally what happens with our skin and our oils. So I don't know how this is going to look 4 hours from now when my natural oils set in. Is it going to be too dark? And that's what scares me a little. But right now it's fine. It looks like it matches perfectly right now. So we'll have to see. But even when I did that first swipe, I can see the orange, you guys. So I'm going to have to either try a neutral tone or figure that out. But do I love this powder? Is it like my favorite powder I've ever used? No. But do I think it's a beautiful powder? Yes. And I think once I find my right color, I actually think I will love this one to set my makeup. I don't know about as a powder foundation alone. I still think I like the Makeup Forever one the best, and then I'll get into my rankings later anyway. But as I was saying, I think it's going to be a better foundation to set my liquid foundation. So I think it's lighter weight than the other ones, which is nice if you don't really like that heavy cakey effect. I think that's where this powder actually stands out. So that's my thoughts, but let's get into the new Wayne Goss Bronzer Contour Duo. Now, this is another one I can tell you right now, I've already kind of played with it, because when I opened it up, I was like, oh my gosh, that's gonna be way too dark. And I went with the darkest one. I don't know why I didn't do that. I should have gone with Bronze Satin. I'll show you guys the picture right there. Those are the 3 shades he has available on beautylish.com. And I went with the darker one thinking that the Bronze Satin was gonna be way too light and way too ashy. And I regret it because I wish I would have went with that one. Although these are beautiful colors, it was really hard for me. I wasn't like, oh yes, that's the one I'm gonna be. I didn't know. And that's, you know, you never know when you're buying online and you can't buy this in stores. So let's look at the details right there. It runs $45. You get 16.5 grams of product, a half an ounce. These are huge pan sizes, just like his blush and highlighter duos. You're looking at $2.73 per gram, you guys. That is a really, really good amount of product, and for quality powders. And Wayne Goss really focuses on mature skin. He makes it for all ages, but if you can target mature skin and develop a product that goes over mature skin, which is pretty much at any age, anyone with texture, is gonna go over any skin type, any age out there. So I love that he does that, and I love that he's created his brand around that, and he uses more mature models and influencers to test out the products. I mean, I hope he chooses me someday, but you know, we'll get into that later. I'm just kidding. Anyway, well, kidding, not kidding. 50% of me is kidding. I want to be chosen for something. Anyway, I am just excited to try this out no matter what. Even though it's a little too dark for me, we are going to play with it anyway. So I am going to use this as an eyeshadow, a bronzer, and a contour today. We're just going to make this a multi-purpose product, is what I would normally do anyway. I like to use my bronzers as my shadows, especially my transition shade. So this is Copper Glow and Deep Taupe. It almost looked very similar to me. I don't know about you guys, but almost looks very similar in color. So that's more the contour shade, and this is more the bronzer shade. So Copper Glow and Deep Taupe. So we're gonna go in with my rougher number 4 brush, just so I can keep that contour really tight. I love this brush for that. So and I just washed it, so you will be able to really see that color. So that's the Deep Taupe. It's powdery, but I can tell you right now it's going to probably blend like a dream. So I'm just gonna kind of stamp that into the area where I want it to. So yeah, that actually works. It doesn't look muddy, that's nice. Would I have preferred something a little bit lighter? Yes, but it's just gonna take a little bit more of a blending, but I mean, it literally goes on the skin so beautifully, you guys. I mean, seriously. So this is a Zoeva Face Brush 104. I'll put the number down there, I'm not sure. It's clean, it looks like it has product on there, but I'm just gonna kind of blend that. And do you see how that blends really nicely there? So that's a nice one. This is a synthetic brush. So I'm just going to kind of, I'm not taking any more product on that because I think there's still enough product on there. And just go along the forehead, just really pressing that into the hairline and creating that shadow up there. And again, if you have, you can check out my contour video. If you have a larger forehead, you can focus the contour right there. Or if you have a more narrow, you know, or smaller forehead, you don't have to do that at all. All right, I am going to take a little bit of my Hourglass powder. I'm gonna use my Luxie Nose Perfector brush. You guys know I love this brush. It's gonna look crazy right now. Trust the process. I'm gonna take the excess off on my hand, and then I'm gonna go up that way. And we're gonna blend this into the shadow later. All right, I'm gonna take the opposite side of the Luxie brush and just start blending. I do wanna kind of compare this really quickly to my favorite contours, and that is the Wayne Goss, that is the Kevyn Aucoin, and that is the Dior Contour Backstage palette. Dior is almost like a cross between the two, interestingly enough. It has like those neutral tones to it, but not too golden, not too taupe. It's like the perfect shade, and it's very buildable, which is why I love that one. All right, we're gonna go into that taupe color because I want to blend it into my contour. Again, I'm going to dust that off a little because it is a little powdery, and I'm just going to take that onto the contour of my eye socket, and I'm really going to bring that into that nose contour where I started. Don't be afraid to take that shadow in right there. Beautiful. I mean, it just goes on so effortlessly and so beautiful. And then I'll put the bronzer shade over it. So I'll take this Wayne Goss number 3 brush, I'm pretty sure that's the number, and I'm gonna go into the bronzer shade, which is called Copper Glow. And I think that's where I was like, that's why I really loved the bronzer shade on this. How beautiful is that? And then just go over it and just kind of warm it up a little. So pretty, right? It goes really nice with the red. Now I'm gonna go into his duo. This is the Coral Rose Blush and Highlighter Duo. And I'm gonna take this Zoeva 325, and I love it for doing the brow bone. So we're gonna take that onto the brow bone highlight area and just kind of see how beautiful that is. Oh, I haven't used this in a while, and it's so pretty. Oh, you guys, like how gorgeous is that? And then what we'll do is take another Wayne Goss number 16 brush, which I always use for my blush to give that monochromatic look. And I'm taking the Coral Rose blush out of there just to kind of tie everything together because we'll use this as a blush today too, a powdered blush. So pretty, right? How easy is that? And then what I'm gonna do is just to kind of make this look a little more fun, we're gonna take this Danessa Myricks. These are the Color Fix. I talked about these in my Sephora recommendations video, and I love this. And I like to just squeeze it onto the tip of that because when I put it on my skin, I feel like it dries way too fast. And then I'm just gonna put this on the lid. Beautiful, right? How gorgeous is that? And then what you can do is just take like this Wayne Goss highlighter. Look at how pigmented that is. That's so crazy. And just pop it over there and give it a little bit more oomph like that. Somebody asked me recently what I had on in one of my videos, and this is what I did. I didn't use this bronzer, but pretty much the same concept. Exactly. And this has kind of been my go-to look lately when I'm just like want to run out of the house, but I want to look put together and somewhat glam. All right, now I'm gonna go back into the bronzer in a tighter brush. This is a Sonia G crease brush. I'm gonna go back into the actual taupe side and just kind of make sure I darken up that area right there and just kind of create that crease, that definition of the crease. How easy is that eyeshadow look, right? Just so simple and easy. And then I'll pop on some lashes in just a second. But let's finish up with the bronzer now. So I'm gonna take this side and we're gonna go in with my favorite bronzer brush. And that is my Chikuhodo PS2, which you guys know I always love using. And take that glow side. Oh, that's a beautiful bronzer. Oh, yes. See, I like the bronzer side of this one. Ooh, it's so pretty. Oh, it just goes on so effortlessly too. Oh, you guys, that is a gorgeous buildable bronzer. How beautiful is that? I can just build this one. I felt like that contour was really strong, but this one is very buildable. Again, clean brush, make sure we're blend it nicely. Oh my gosh, you guys, how beautiful is that bronzer? Oh, I love this bronzer side. Okay, I'm glad I got this for the bronzer portion of that especially. All right, now we're gonna go in with, and I'll rate that at the end, but love the bronzer, love the bronzer. More than the contour portion, not that I didn't like the formula, it's just the color wasn't right for me. I wanna try that bronze satin one. So now I'm gonna go in with this Shiseido, and I talked about this in my Sephora video, I wanna say. And this is the Sonoya 01, and this is like a whipped cream blush. When you look at that, you're like, oh, that's scary. But do you see the way that blends out into almost just the most airbrush kiss of sun? Oh, it is beautiful. It gives like a powdered finish, even though it's a cream blush. It is so forgiving on mature skin. So I'm gonna take the back of my blender and just kind of blend now, make sure. And as I mentioned in my over 40 makeup tips video I recently did, you really, blush is the first thing to go. So I never get like paranoid that I put too much on because it's gonna fade. It just is, it naturally is gonna do that. So don't be afraid of that. All right, now let's go in with the Wayne Goss Coral and kind of put that over and set it down a little bit. So I'm gonna take the IT Cosmetics because this is a very buildable blush. It's not a real like, oh my gosh, it's too much. So you can see how that just goes on so beautifully. His blushes, his formula is insanely good. All right, let's put on his highlighter, and I'm gonna use the Wayne Goss Airbrush, the Airbrush is what it's called, and that's what it looks like on there, and just kind of go right here. Oh gosh, do you see that highlight? So I popped on my lashes and finished up the rest of my makeup, my lips, and everything came together so beautiful. I'll put everything in the description box of what I used, but I really love this. Oh my gosh, I forgot how beautiful this blush and highlighter is. I'm like, why am I not using this more? I just have too much stuff, you guys. But it all came together really beautiful. I was afraid it was gonna be too dark. I would still like to see what the bronze satin looks like on me, but all in all, it came out really beautiful, and we'll have to see how it wears throughout the rest of the day. I cannot wait to see how this One Size Beauty oxidizes. I'm a little afraid. Right now the color looks really beautiful. I've had it on for a couple hours, and everything is playing together really nicely. So I will have that outdoor footage, and then we'll come back at the end of the day and do all the rankings. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, so I wanted to do a quick check-in. It's been about 4 hours that I've had this powder foundation on, and I like it. It's really pretty. I don't know if it's my favorite. I still think the Fenty and the Makeup Forever, I still would rank higher than this one, but I'll give you my final rankings at the end. And I do really like this bronzer that Wayne Goss has. Again, I have the wrong color, I think, on both of these products. So I think I'd go down to like the 3 on the Turn Up the Base powdered foundation by Patrick Starr, and then with the Wayne Goss I would go down to the medium because I think this one was just a little too deep for my taste. I would want it a little bit lighter. So other than that though, I think it's wearing really nice. I did have a mask on, I got my hair blown out, and my lipstick is on there, so you know, it's just about average. It's not you know, obviously bulletproof or anything like that, but you know, it's pretty. I just think it's a little too golden. The shades run very golden. Like there's like a lot of red tones in there. So just be mindful of that when you're choosing the shade. But other than that, I'm really happy. So just wanted to give you guys a quick check-in, and I'll see you guys at the end of the night. All right, you guys, we're at the end of the day and we're looking at about an 8-hour wear test total. I actually am very impressed with both of these products, but we'll get into my product rankings in just a second. I hope that outdoor footage helps you guys. I really think it's important for you guys to see what it looks like in a natural daylight. That was at the halfway point, and I thought from that point on, it just kept wearing really nicely, and I think it laid on my face so beautifully. I am a huge powder foundation person. I love powders in general, but powder foundation is where I started my journey. At 43 years old, that was my generation. We wore powdered foundations when we started off on our makeup journeys. So I love that we're kind of bringing it back now, and honestly, that is something I have really been kind of utilizing more and more for my everyday use. When I'm on camera, I am testing out a lot of liquid foundations, and sometimes on camera I feel like it wears really beautiful on camera liquid foundations. But I love these powders that are really like buildable, so you can use them for like multi-purposes, you know, whether or not you want to set your liquid foundation or just wear it on its own. I think it is just brilliant that these companies are coming out with really wearable, soft matte powders that are really good for dry skin and oily skin. So I'll give you my final thoughts when I get done with the rankings, but let's start off with the fact that I like to rank my products if you're new to my channel. This is something I started at the beginning of this year, and I like to just let you guys know my percentage of whether or not I recommend this product. Always take what I say with a grain of salt, or any YouTuber out there, because all of us have different skin types and preferences, so you don't know until you try it. So always try it. If this was something on your list, definitely give it a try, whether or not I rank the product high or low. So always keep that in mind, but I like to do 5 categories. I start off with packaging. I go into shade range, product claims, application, and then pricing. So we'll do that for both of these products, but we'll start off with the Patrick Starr One Size Turn Up the Base foundation powder. Beautiful packaging. I love the red. This just really represents Patrick Starr, the YouTuber, the makeup artist. He's such a beautiful person. I got to meet him over a Zoom masterclass, and let me tell you, his personality is just beautiful. He's just a really beautiful person, and I think this packaging really represents him. I like that. I love the name, the whole theme, Turn Up the Bass. If I remember right, he was in the marching band in high school, and that's kind of where he decided to come up with this whole theme of turn up the base, and I think it's really cute, the whole pun, the base of your skin. And he just creates such beautiful powders. He did with his collaboration with MAC Cosmetics and now with his own brand, and I'm very excited for him. This is a gorgeous packaging, and I love the fact that it's slim, it's really easy to open. I'm gonna give the packaging a 10 out of 10. Beautiful packaging. Let's go over the product claims. This is a buttery smooth, buildable, medium to full coverage powder foundation with a multi-use formula, a soft matte finish, and up to 12 hours of wear. I think the finish is just absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna give product claims a solid 10 out of 10. Now let's move over into application, you guys. I think this applied very easily, very pretty. The only thing throwing me off is the color, but I'll get into shade range in just a second. But other than that, like with his one size puff, I think it just went on so simple and easy and undetectable. I do feel like whether or not you have oily skin or dry skin, this is a really beautiful powder. I think it's a very comfortable soft matte, as it claims in there. Maybe that rice powder, I don't know what it is, but it does lay on the skin really, really beautiful. I just love the finish. So I'm gonna give application a solid 10 out of 10. Now let's move over into shade range, you guys, and I probably should have touched on this one first. As far as shade range, this is where this product throws me off a little. Definitely don't judge the pan by the color. So it may look really light in the pan. I'll quickly show you guys that again, but it's definitely comes off darker on the skin and more of like an orangey tone to it. It's not like a carrot top orange, but it does pull a little bit of orange, and I noticed it in my car in the natural daylight where I did see a little bit of a transition, and either I have to go down in shade or I have to go to more of a neutral shade. So I will have to play around with the shade range. That gold I was thinking would give me yellow, but it's actually throwing me off on more of a peachy orange. So I'm gonna have to kind of play with the color tones on that one. I'll pop up the two that I think I might be in the shade range, but if you're a twinsy to me, I think this was a little too dark and orange for me. It looks good in studio on camera, but in the natural daylight is where I really noticed it. So as far as shade range goes, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10, you guys. I just wasn't that fond of the shade range, so that kind of throws me off a little. Let's move over into pricing. So we're looking at $33. So that middle range price point, not bad. A little over $4 a gram. And honestly, if you're not gonna give, which I don't typically care, and I don't even really use those sponges, but if you're gonna take this on the go, you're gonna have to take a puff with you or a brush with you. So for $33, I just felt like he could have at least included or give us a bigger pan size, you know, more than 8 grams. I think, I don't know, I just like a product in this brand. I just feel like I compare it to like Fenty Beauty. Let's take down the price a little bit and give me a little bit more for, you know, over $4 a gram. So pricing, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I don't think it's terrible, but I do feel like at least include, even though it's just, you know, a nice gesture, at least include like a little area. But I understand that it keeps it slimmer and a lot of people don't use the sponge. So I get that too, and I appreciate that. But then give me a little bit more product. That's the only thing I would say. So we're looking at a total Allure score of 45 out of 50. So 90% of me would recommend this product. I think it is a beautiful powder. Let's throw up my scorecard now of just powdered foundation and where I rank my favorite powdered foundations. So as you can see right there, nothing has yet surpassed Makeup Forever. I think that is one of the best matte velvet powders on the market. There's something they do to that foundation powder that even when I was super dry, that powder worked for me. And it's just a gorgeous finish that lasts multiple hours in the day. Like, it is a beautiful powder. So I still rank that one number 1. I think the Fenty powder easily comes in number 2. I think it is a gorgeous powder. Hopefully that helps you guys out if you're on the market for a powdered foundation, or if this is something you kind of want to start getting into. I think it is perfect for us girls at home that are, or just anyone, guys, girls, that are at home and really just want to keep it very simple but want a little bit of coverage or a little bit of something while you're at home, or if you're on a Zoom call. I think they're perfect for Zoom calls. And I think what's great is if you have very sensitive skin or acne prone skin, it is really nice to stick to products like that that are really not going to negatively impact your skin so much, which is why I've kind of started you know, working myself back into powdered foundations. And I think you just kind of have to get over the, oh, it's gonna make me look older, because I'm 43. It's not making me look older. It's just, to me, making me feel like I have less cake on my face. And honestly, like, that's how I feel. But that's just my opinion, so take that again with a grain of salt. Let's move over into the Wayne Goss bronzer, you guys. I love this bronzer. It is sleek, it is beautiful, it is his typical packaging from his eyeshadows to his blush duos. He really just created beautiful, classy, oh, it's just gorgeous. I went a little too dark. I should have gone with the satin bronze, so I will be ordering that because, yes, this is a beautiful bronzer contour palette, and I think it is easy and convenient. This is a good example of a large pan size. It's gonna be something that's going to last a long time. $45, you feel like that's a high price point, but it's gonna last a long time. So I appreciate that. But packaging, solid, 10 out of 10 for Wayne Goss, as always. Now let's move over into product claims. From Wayne Goss himself, I wanted to create a palette that anyone can use to recreate the look of skin gently kissed by the sun. The powder goes on like silk for skin that radiates health. It's infused with cocoa, mango, and I don't know, butters. The silky powder formula melts into the skin without settling into lines or emphasizing texture. I don't know if it wore as long as like my other bronzers do. I do feel like it kind of faded a little bit. That's the only thing, the longevity of it. Maybe if I put it over liquid foundation, maybe it would grip a little bit longer or last a little bit longer, or maybe if I did like a cream contour underneath it, that might have, you know, helped the longevity of it. But yeah, I mean, other than that, it is a gorgeous powder. So a solid 9 out of 10. Now, as far as application goes, you guys, these go on so easy. And if you are somebody that just doesn't like a lot of contour or bronzer, these are perfect for you. And if you're a beginner, these are perfect for you because they're foolproof. You cannot go wrong with this. Powder is just so easy to apply. It is so beautiful. So application is solid 10 out of 10. Now, as far as shade range goes, I do feel like there were some lacking in shades. The shades complicate me a little bit because this is the deepest it goes. So if this wears on me, how's it gonna wear on somebody even way more deeper than I am? So that's the only thing that I was just a little, I don't understand the shade range a little. And now I have to order the medium one, which is probably what I should have ordered to begin with. But I wasn't sure if it was going to be dark enough. That was my fear of it. So maybe there's like something in between there I would have liked. So as far as shade range goes, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I just felt like that was the only place I felt like it was kind of lacking besides the longevity of it. But other than that, it is a gorgeous bronzer, and I can see myself using this a lot during the summer. As far as pricing goes, I'm gonna give this a solid 10 out of 10 because he gave us good quality. I mean, 14.5 grams of product in here. These are large pan sizes. You're looking at $2.73 per gram. I think that is at a $45 price point. You're getting a bronzer and a contour. Split that in half, you guys. I mean, that's a really good price point for like luxury type packaging, luxury type brand. Wayne Goss knows what he's doing. He's a phenomenal makeup artist, and he is just a great YouTuber that gives a plethora of information to all of us. And I just highly respect him. And I really love what he's doing with his brand and his products. I am going to pull up my rankings for my bronzers right there so you can kind of see where it lies. But as far as like my favorite bronzers, it still hasn't quite surpassed some of my favorite bronzers. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of an indication right there of where I kind of rank those. So 90% of you would recommend this product. I think this is a brilliant product for my ladies over 40. I think you're going to love this bronzer contour duo, especially if you're just starting out on your contour journey and you just really want something very simple and easy to just kind of pull out. Powdered products are always going to be easier to apply than cream products. So yes, the Patrick Ta one is really, really pretty. But you know, you got your cream and you got your cream contour and your powdered bronzer. I do feel like the longevity is here with the Patrick Ta one. Remember, keep in mind that is a cream product versus a powdered product. So bear that in mind. I just wish the longevity was there just a little bit more, but other than that, this is a gorgeous bronzer. Please comment below and let me know if this was something you guys were interested in, or if you already purchased this. If you have the bronze satin shade, let me know, comment below. And if you had this in your cart or picked it up during the sale, this new Patrick Star One Size powdered foundation. And also put your favorite powdered foundation in the comment section. I'd love to hear, because I want to get more ideas on powdered foundation since I'm kind of starting to go back into those a little bit more. So comment below and let me know your favorite powdered foundation. And while you're down there, let me know your favorite bronzer. I love hearing from you guys. I love communicating with you back and forth every Sunday. It is such a joy to me. So thank you so much for doing that. Again, it really helps my videos out when you comment and like the videos. It really does. Thank you guys. I love that I was able to show you my powdered foundation routine. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for all the love and support. If you're new here and you're just stopping by, please remember to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you can get notified, because we're here every Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And please give this video a huge thumbs up. Hit that like button, you guys. Again, that really helps out my channel. Utilize those affiliate links if you decide to pick up any of these products, and I will see you guys next Sunday. Bye.